Alright, hello citizens of the Nigelverse, it is Nigel once again, and this is going to be another wrestling review. This will be our last Halloween Havoc review for the month of October, and this is a very interesting one as a star is really born here in the main event of the second ever NXT Halloween Havoc. So, what happens when Tomasso Ciampa defends his NXT Championship against the young upstart Bron Breakker? Let's find out. I'm talking about NXT Halloween Havoc 2021, and as Tomasso Ciampa defends the NXT title against Bron Breakker, like I just mentioned. But as always, I'm not professional wrestling reviewer or analyst or anything like that. Just a man who enjoys a good time, which I definitely had with this match. It's a lot better than the match we reviewed earlier this week, but yeah. So, if I'm not mistaken, I think this was right after the relaunch of NXT into NXT 2.0. So yeah, there's that, and while people can feel about 2.0 how they feel, me personally, I thought it was, I thought the 2.0 era was okay. It was just missing that oomph, but I think this was at least a step in the right direction. That's really building Bron Breakker as like the next big thing, not just in the business, it's not just in the company, but throughout NXT 2.0. So, without further ado, let's get right into it and see how they went about doing that. But if you've seen these reviews of mine before, you kind of already know how this works. If you haven't, I'm going to be talking about what I liked and what I disliked about the match. So, starting with what I liked is that this is a really good showing. To an extent for both men, but more so for Bron Breakker. And they put on a commentary. Not just Tomasso Ciampa and his veteran instinct and his in-ring prowess and his ring IQ, but they put over on Breakker as well, his strength and raw power, which Bron Breakker definitely does possess, and they theorized how it would play into the match, and I think for the most part played pretty well. Of course, Tomasso Ciampa showing off that ring IQ, having an answer for almost everything, working around Bron Breakker, but Bron Breakker being able to hold his own, not just using the power her and stuff like that, but busting out agility as well, such as a Frankensteiner, or also being able to match technical prowess with, at least keep up technically with Tomasso Ciampa with grapples and holds and stuff like that. And really, holding his own. It's a pretty excellent, interesting showcase for Bron Breakker up to this point. Now, granted, at this point in time, that is present day. In 2023, Bron Breakker has been a lot more established within NXT. He definitely still the future of the company. Definitely still pretty young into his WWE career, but here, back here in 2021, this is really the test for him, I feel like, and he passed. Granted, he didn't pick up the win in this match. Tomasso Ciampa actually did, which at first confused me because I could have swore this is where Bron Breakker won the NXT Championship, but then I remembered it was actually after their War Games match. That year's War Games was the NXT Originals versus 2.0. So, on the NXT Original side, it was Tomasso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, LA Knight, and Pete Dunne, if I'm not mistaken. And then going against NXT 2.0's Bron Breakker, Tony D'Angelo, Carmelo Hayes, and Grayson Waller. So after that match, Ciampa and Breakker would face off again, which is where Breakker would win the NXT Championship. But in the meantime, this definitely a sign of things to come, and you can definitely tell. And it really was like this from day one when it comes to Bron Breakker. You could really tell, like almost from day one, from the early days of NXT 2.0, that this was the guy. And and of course some others such as Carmelo Hayes and Grayson Waller. But you can tell, with Bron Breakker, this was the guy that you definitely want to build NXT 2.0 around, which is not a bad thing. Definitely not at all. I enjoy watching Bron Breakker. He has a lot of power and a lot of agility. He's pretty decent at promos. Which, if you're gonna be the nephew of Scott Steiner, you definitely better be. But this being a major test for him, even in defeat, still looking really solid, being able to hold his own against the veteran in Tomasso Ciampa. Bron Breakker got to show what he can do, power wise and agility wise, which big men with agility is always impressive, and Bron Breakker definitely has that in spade. He didn't really get a plancha like he does in other matches in this match, but still really solid, and they definitely went at it, including Tomasso Ciampa and nailing a DDT onto the concrete on the outside. I didn't even catch anybody lifting up any mats to reveal the concrete, but it was there, and it was funny because after I was thinking, like, wow. I wish in kayfabe, because oftentimes it happened, like in kayfabe, normally, like, busting somebody open on concrete, they should be busted open and bleeding. And right as I was thinking that, as Ciampa dragged Breakker back into the ring, Breakker started bleeding. So I was pretty funny there. But yeah, otherwise, it's a pretty solid battle between the two, as Ciampa retains. He's having to win with 2 fairy tale endings and 3 jumping knees. And it's also worth mentioning, this doesn't really play into the match, but this is the match where Tomasso Ciampa had that cool Kratos gear. Granted, the color was off a little bit, but I guess that was to either avoid copyright or make it more in line with the 2.0 colors. But yeah, so pretty solid showing from Tomasso Ciampa as usual, but also from Bron Breakker. And from this match, you can definitely tell that, okay, the future of not just NXT, but the company is going to be in good hands with this Bron Breakker kid. And if anything, if Bron Breakker had won the NXT Championship here, I don't think many people would have been against that. Of course, nothing against Tomasso Ciampa. Love Tomasso Ciampa, but Breakker definitely was impressive in this match, and so if they decide to pop the NXT title on him right here instead of later on, like they ended up doing, then I think people definitely would have been fine with that. But still, very impressive showing for both these men, but especially Bron Breakker. And I think that was kind of the main idea for this match, is for it to really be a showcase of Bron Breakker, at least within the title picture and at the main event level. And of course, he built up to that, but having this major match for the title. Well, granted, this wasn't on Peacock. This was when Halloween Havoc was a TV special, which the NXT Halloween Havoc events usually are. They usually are TV. The only one that wasn't on TV that actually got its own premium live event was 2022, which is strange that that's the only one. But let me know if you guys prefer Halloween Havoc to be a TV special or to have its own premium live event. So Bron Breakker getting this big opportunity here, I think was pretty good. And if I had to find something to nitpick about this match, I do wish it was a little bit longer, but otherwise that's not a bad thing. And I just do wish it was a tad bit longer, but otherwise the length was still pretty good, and still got a pretty solid match out of the ordeal. But nevertheless, that's going to do it for this review. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor: like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, turn post notifications so you know every time I upload videos you can see as it drops. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on the match and my review. Did you like the match? Did you like my review of the match? Let me know. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Peace.